Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So if you're a data scientist making that big move into an AI or ML engineering role, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're tackling a skill that is absolutely crucial, connecting your ML projects to real-world costs and, actual business value. Let's get right into it.
Okay, picture this. You've built a model, and it's got incredible 99% accuracy. That's a huge win, right? Well, maybe. In the real world of MLOps, technical perfection is only half the story.
We've really got to shift our entire mindset from just pure technical success, things like a high F1 score, to what really matters, business success. And that's measured in things like ROI and cost savings. This explainer is all about showing you how to make that leap. To get there, though, we all need to be speaking the same language. So let's kick things off by breaking down the two most important terms in this whole conversation: costs and KPIs. First up, costs. Now, in MLOps, this is not just about the bill you get for your cloud servers. No. It's the total financial investment. I mean, everything it takes to develop, deploy, and keep that model running out in the wild. And that total investment, it breaks down into a few key areas. You've got the obvious stuff like infrastructure and GPUs, but you also have to account for data acquisition, your team's salaries, software licenses, and all that operational overhead. Believe me, it all adds up fast. All right, on the other side of this equation, we have key performance indicators, or as you know them, KPIs. Think of these as the metrics we use to measure the value we're actually getting from all those costs. They are the bridge connecting our technical work to the business's bottom line. And KPIs are definitely not one size fits all. We can group them into different categories. We absolutely still need our technical metrics for model quality and performance, but we have to add operational stability, things like uptime, and most importantly, the bottom line business impact like revenue generated or how much churn we reduced. So why do we care so much? Why is all this tracking so important? Why is it truly mission critical for any serious MLOps program? Well, because this is how you prove your project's worth. Tracking makes sure your work is actually aligned with what the business needs, which maximizes your ROI. It helps you pinpoint inefficiencies, and it builds a culture where decisions are driven by hard data, not just gut feelings. All right, that's enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty. Here's a really simple back-of-the-envelope calculation you can use for some quick and dirty cost estimates. Okay, let's say you need to train a model for about 10 hours. First, you identify your resource. We'll use an AWS P3.2x large instance as an example. Then you go look up its price. Say it's about $3 an hour. After that, you just calculate the core compute cost by multiplying that rate by your training time. And finally, you have to factor in other costs like data storage. And voila, there you have it. In this example, 10 hours of compute plus a month of storage comes out to just under $33. Now, it's not the perfect final number, but it is an absolutely crucial baseline for any kind of feasibility discussion. So, we've got our costs, we've got our technical metrics. Now for the big question. How do we build that bridge connecting our KPIs to real, tangible business value? It always starts with a business objective. Don't start with the model. Start with what the business actually wants to achieve. Let's take a classic example. The goal is to reduce customer churn. So from that high-level goal, you create a specific, measurable MLOps KPI. The goal, reduce churn, becomes the KPI, customer churn rate after implementing our model. See, now you have something you can actually track and measure. And this same logic, it applies across the board. If you want to increase sales, you track click-through rate. To minimize risk, you measure the false positive rate. You can see the pattern here, right? Every single business goal gets a clear, corresponding MLOps metric. It's that simple. Okay, this is all great in theory, but how does it work in the real world? Let's take a look at how a tool like MLflow can help you pull these business insights directly from your experiment data. Tools like MLflow, they track a ton of technical metrics, but their real power, their true value, is unlocked when you translate that raw data into the language of business, costs, and KPIs. A simple chart like this one can spark some pretty big strategic questions. We see here that XGBoost is our most used algorithm. It's super powerful, yeah, but it's also really expensive. This immediately makes you ask, hey, could a cheaper model work for some of these tasks? I mean, that's a huge potential cost saving right there. Or take a look at this runtime chart. Just seeing that tuning is your biggest cost driver is an immediate signal to go investigate your optimization strategy. These charts are incredibly powerful tools for pinpointing where the money is going.
All right, to wrap things up, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid on this journey and the essential tools that can really help you manage your costs effectively.
You've got to be careful to avoid these common traps. Don't get tunnel vision on accuracy while ignoring costly things like data pipelines and inference. And please avoid vanity metrics, like just counting the number of models you've trained. Focus only on what actually delivers value in production. And the good news is you don't have to do this alone. Your cloud provider offers powerful tools like AWS Cost Explorer, but here's the catch. They only work if you follow the single most important best practice, which is to tag all of your resources. Tagging is the magic that connects costs back to your projects. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Looking at your current project, or maybe the next one coming down the pike, what is the single most important KPI you can track that will prove without a shadow of a doubt that your model is delivering real business value? Really think about it. Thanks for watching.